have dialed is not in service at this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Hello there, South Africalings. How are all of you doing out there? Yeah, we are definitely on the downhill now towards the end of 2020, hey? Hey, not long to go, hey? 3 weeks till Christmas, and the end of the year is around the corner. May it come fast, because, yeah, as we've said a few times, this has been one of those years, hey? Definitely one for the archives, in more ways than one. But we survived, hey? Well, we survived this part of the simulation. Let's see what they upload next for us to deal with, hey? Never a dull moment, guys. This is the Wayne G Show, and this is Real Talk Radio, where the talk is always real. Yeah, guys, today, I always sound so excited about what I'm going to talk about, hey? I'm like, today, here we go. But yeah, today we're going to talk about the State Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. Yes, or better known as the Zondo Commission. The Zondo Commission is chaired by Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. He's probably the most patient, willing judge or man I've ever seen. Hey, the stuff he's had to sit through for the last 2 years, or even more than 2 years, has been pretty much unbelievable, guys. He has sat through some of the most riveting revelations that this country has ever seen. Stuff that we as the people had a hunch was going on, but now we're actually seeing it. We're actually seeing evidence. We're hearing evidence. It's pretty much the story or the case or the, yeah, how can we call it? The commission into what Jacob Zuma did to our country. That's pretty much what it's about, hey? Thuli Madonsela initiated it back in 2018, and then, yeah, our current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, initiated it, and from there we ended up with one of the best soap operas, one of the most riveting TV series this country's ever had. Hey, never a dull moment, guys. We are watching and witnessing history being made on TV every day. You can tune into the Zondo soapy every day, and you can see the most riveting reality show you'll ever watch. And that brings me to what part of the Zondo Commission I want to talk about today, and that is the Guptas. Yes, that family-run corrupt enterprise, probably the most corrupt enterprise in the history of South Africa, are the Guptas. Brought into power by Jacob Zuma, and obviously bought into power by Jacob Zuma, and they have pretty much siphoned billions of rand out of South Africa. And they've done it through various state-owned enterprises. They've done it through Eskom. They've done it through Transnet. They've pretty much captured, which is the name of this inquiry, the country. And they got away with it, guys. They were caught. You know, one of them was in custody and they let him go. And now they're living in the lap of luxury without tax money in Dubai. Yes, with young Zuma in Dubai, living the life of Larry, while the poor taxpayer, and I mean the poor taxpayer, you know, these guys stole money out of the poorest of the poor. Hey, one of the examples they discussed yesterday was Estina Dairy, you know, and it's absolutely tragic what happened there. You know, Estina Dairy was a dairy farm in the Free State that was a public and private enterprise. It was a dual combination of investment, and you know, the Guptas owned it through various proxies, as they always do. You know, they had their finger in that pie too, and they used it to siphon billions of rands out of South Africa. Hey, billions of rand were just pulled out of SA through their company, and yeah, stolen from the Free State government. Ace Magashule definitely had a hand in there. As we know, that's all going to come out soon, but yeah, he was pretty much involved in that. And yeah, they stole billions out of South Africa, using that as their tool to get money out, eh? And yeah, there was a gentleman by the name of Paul Holdings, and yeah, he was testifying yesterday to Judge Zondo, and yeah, he brought up some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen, eh? He works for Shadow World Investigations, which is a global fraud and money laundering investigations company. So they go and investigate big corruption cases and big fraud cases, and they dig into them. Hey, they get in really deep. And yeah, Paul was pretty straightforward and blunt. If you watched anything from yesterday, he was very, very honest and forthright with the information, and they managed to trace and track how the Guptas did it. Hey, and these guys were so sharp with the money. You know, they looped the money around. So they got 283 million rand from the Free State government, and they turned it into 880 billion rand, guys. 880 billion rand was the eventual amount that they stole from the Free State government. Paul Holdings described how through their investigations, you know, they managed to get hold of Estina's bank records, and they were able to trace how the Gupta stole the money. And what they were doing was they set up various offshore bank accounts, and they were pretty much transferring the money from Estina into these proxy, you know, not under their own names, but bank accounts across the world. And they were doing what they were what these guys in the investigations units and that call round tripping. So what they do is they'd invest the money into a bank account. They then loop the money back around and into that same company again, making it look like two deposits. And they did that over and over again. Hey, and that's what it's called, round tripping. And that's how they managed to launder that money, first of all to a tune of 880 billion rand, and secondly out of South Africa. So that money left the country through various international means and made its way out of the company and out of the country. And you know, Chief Justice Zondo or Deputy Chief Justice Zondo, during the hearing, he actually stopped Paul, you know, because he was pretty much shocked. He was absolutely blown away at this testimony. He stopped it halfway through and said, "Are you sure it's that amount of money? Because that's a lot more than what he heard of." And he's actually pretty shocked at what it was. And Paul was adamant that, yeah, that's the amount that they'd traced. You know, the numbers don't lie, hey? The paper trail. And yeah, Zondo was extremely shocked and taken aback by what happened there, hey? As you can imagine, you know, and yeah, I think, like I said earlier, Judge Zondo has had to sit through and deal with so much corruption over the last 2 years that it is mind-blowing. Hey? Like those Guptas washed that money 3 times. 3 times they round-tripped that money to get to that total. Hey? It's close to 1 billion rand. And that's just from one company, guys. That's from the poor Estina Dairy. That was meant to be a dairy farm. You know, those beautiful dairy farms where the cows are in the field and they milked every afternoon or every morning or however it goes. And yeah, they saw this as a giant milk, a money milk. Hey, Super M for the Guptas, and they pulled the cash out of this country at an alarming rate. Hey, and you know what, guys? These guys have to go down for it. There has to be a way to get these guys to account. There has to be a way to get Ace and Zuma, who let the Guptas in. You know, these government officials, these guys entrusted with our tax money and our trust, did this. You know, the Guptas would have never been able to pull this off without the help of Jacob Zuma and his cronies. Never in a million years would have they been able to do it, to capture the country. They needed somebody on the inside, and they got our president. They managed to buy the president of South Africa. How bad is that? And, you know, that president is somehow playing the victim. He's a victim of a conspiracy. Come on. He must think we're absolutely stupid. Hey? How dumb does Zuma actually think we are to buy that nonsense? You know, he is guilty. He was instrumental in setting these Guptas up and made billions out of it, guys. Jeez, man, I don't know. Hey, it blows my mind. You know, like a friend of mine said to me the other day, nothing surprises him anymore. And that's exactly what it is. Nothing is surprising. But that is shocking, because that means that we are desensitized. And those kinds of, you know, corrupt politicians play off that. They're like, these guys are so punch drunk from what we've been doing, we can just carry it on. And that's exactly what they're doing, guys. We cannot let it continue. South Africa is at stake here, guys. That's the Real Talk for today. This is the Wayne G Show, and this is Real Talk Radio, where the talk is always real. Let's hold these guys to account, guys. That's the Real Talk for today.